This week on V-Speed, from the house that Rusty Wallace built. Can Holland go 2 for 2? Can Langton go 3 for 4? Or will we have a new winner tonight? This is Vsrl ARCA Series, live from Iowa Speedway in Newton, Iowa. Phenomenal racetrack, designed by Rusty Wallace himself. 0.85 miles long, 14 degrees in the corners, although they are progressively banked. Bottom, middle, and top, all different bankings. This the pre-paved configuration that they unveiled for the Cup race just a few months ago. But nonetheless, it makes great racing, a worn-out surface, very difficult to navigate if you're a driver. The bumps are intense, and the racing will be intense here tonight as well. A look at the point standing. Sean Langton, as mentioned, has won 2 of the first 3 races. They were the first 2 races, as he did not race last week. Richard Holland won last week in Kansas, a mere 3-hour and 40-minute drive up I-35. If you've never done it, it is definitely an interesting drive. I had the opportunity to do that this summer when I went to the race here in Iowa. Would absolutely go again. Phenomenal racing at this racetrack. Helmlinger, Ritchie, Floyd, Stewart, Hennings, and Sanu are above the cut line, although Stewart and Hennings are not here tonight. They will probably fall below the cut line if Richards and Wade Palmer have decent days tonight. It's going to be very important for those drivers to capitalize on their competitors missing the race. Have a look at the schedule. We are working week 4 at Iowa Speedway, 125 laps tonight. Lime Rock is next week for the only road course race of the season. Then Charlotte, Martinsville, Talladega to round out your regular season. 4-race playoff where we take the top 8. Michigan, Dover, Milwaukee Mile, Chicagoland are going to be the races that you have to do well at to win a championship, assuming you're able to make it that far in the regular season. And with all that being said, 30 seconds away from gridding. They're working on the driver meeting as we speak. I think it just concluded. Our poll winner tonight. Let's maybe have a chat with our poll winner. Nicholas Pressey, working up in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I have a copy. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing quite well. And I would say the driver of the 94 is also doing quite well, winning the poll here tonight. What's it going to take to bring home the victory?
If I can just avoid making the critical mistake that I did last week with the speeding penalty on the exit, that one really stung. But if I can just manage the tires, because unless all things go crazy, the tires are going to be dreadfully important. To the point where some may even one might consider the 2-stop strategy right out the back. Who knows? But it's this is a really tough track on tires. So as long as I can just keep that together, I hope I have a good chance.
I think you will have a great chance. That is your poll winner, Nicholas Pressey. I'm going to put you back down in the race lobby. Good luck tonight.
Thank you very much.
All right. So, time to grid. Starting on the pole, Nicholas Pressey, you just heard from the man himself. Dakota Floyd going to start to his outside. 3rd position, Justin Ritchie in the 55. Benjamin Richards will start in 4th. In the 5th position, Greg Pillar in the 32. Thad Miller will start in 6th in the 13. Row 4 is going to look like Richard Holland and Matthew Radford, 7th and 8th, respectively. 9th position, Sean Langton in the 7. Robert Stanners making his BRSL debut in the 10th spot. 11th will be David Collins, the Collinator. Garrett Helmlinger will start in 12th. 13th, John Sanu alongside Casey Ellis making his way over from VRX. 15th will be Brent McKee. Teresa Spiker starts 16th. 17th will be Edward Fielder. Wade Palmer starts 18th. And that is your grid this evening. Pace laps are short here. Let's get down trackside, as we are already rounding turns 3 and 4. This race, 125 laps long. Get 3 tire sets, 1 on the car and 2 laying. Oh, we are not going green this time. We had a little heart palpitation there. We had to get after it. 75 laps roughly on fuel. So 1 stop, as Nicholas was saying, you could think about doing 2 stops, pit around lap 50 and make a dash to the end, or 50 and then 100, make a dash to the end, something like that. Or you could run out the fuel run, 70 laps or so, pit, and then run the last 55 or so on that second set. It's going to be interesting to see what do these drivers think they're going to do. What is the best strategy? And that's only if it goes green, right? If there's a caution, things absolutely will change. But a good field here, 18 cars, all painted typically in a throwback style scheme. A lot of them anyway. I see a Casey Kane throwback. I see Ricky Bobby, Jeff Gordon. Some of the names we've grown accustomed to. Who's going to make a name for themselves tonight? Green flag is out in Iowa. I think I saw a little bit of a penalty back there. Changing lanes too soon on the restart. Not like last week. Cressy out to the early lead. Able to lead lap number 1 here in Iowa. Floyd and Richie battling out for second. Floyd's going to get the spot for this moment. Richie's going to slide in behind him here off of turn number 2. Look at the 56. Benjamin Richards having a great run. Great qualifying effort for this 56 machine. Driver getting better every single time we see him on V-speed. Richard Holland is going to sneak around him for the 5th position. If you're curious, I didn't mention at the top of the show, I'm Morgan Cook, host and producer here on V-Speed. Glad to have you with us. Watching V-Speed, you found the channel, you found the video. Click that like and subscribe button and stick around a little while longer. We do it for the fans. Love having fans be able to view this kind of racing content. Can't see it anywhere else. Exclusive to V-Speed. So do stick around a little while longer. Battles back through the field. This is 11th place, Brent McKee in the 29. This is up to the 6th position. Radford getting around Pillar. The best thing about this racetrack is absolutely its multiple grooves. See this 97 slide off the corner there. Let's ride a lap around this racetrack with Greg Pillar. Pretty fresh tire, still only about 5 laps old, but you can see he's running the extreme high line. Richie's in the wall ahead of him. He's still in the wall. Massive wall contact with 55, and they're 3 wide into the corner right in front of the 32 machine of Greg Pillar. Not a good exit on the bottom for the 56, but you can see you could run the extreme high line where the 31 and this 32 machine are running. Big loose off the corner for Greg Pillar. You can run the bottom, you can run the middle, the top. You can run a combination thereof. You want to enter high and exit low? Iowa will facilitate that for you. Want to exit low and enter high, or enter low and exit high? Sure thing. Whatever you want to dial up, whatever is going to make your car run better, you can do it here. Gotta be careful not to catch a seam or the outside wall as the 55 did. But Justin Ritchie on the rebound. You can also see how rough this racetrack is. Might be able to get a good view of it off the back bumper of Justin Ritchie through turn 1 and 2. I think we will. Just watch the nose of that silver 32 on the outside as he runs the extreme high line here in 1 and 2. Just watch how much that nose chatters. He didn't get as high as he normally did, but it's still quite bumpy, that area of the racetrack. Coming to complete lap number 9, Pressy leads from the pole, a lot like he did last week. Dakota Floyd running in second, a lot like it was last week. And then Richard Holland hunting him down in third, a lot like it was last week. But new to the party this week, Matthew Radford in the 97. Throwing it back to a driver who won here a few times, Carl Edwards. Up to the 4th position, started in 8th. You got to wonder if that's good for the tires or not. Might be having an issue later in this run with tire wear if he goes this hard. Driver the 29, Brendan McKee, has fallen back a few positions. Might have caught the wall in the center of 3 and 4. Closest battle on the racetrack. Elmlinger, Palmer. One driver above the cut line, one driver below the cut line. It's never too early to talk about points. To sail it off into turn number 1. Running that middle line, kind of high entry, low exit for the 43. Not going to make the required time up on Garrett Helmlinger to battle, at least not in the center of 3 and 4. You can just hear the tires squealing. You can see the steering wheel, that tape. Tells you this thing is not the greatest handling of race cars right now. It's loose. He is fighting the wheel in the 43. Now he's pinned down to the bottom by the 35 of Casey Ellis. Ellis to the extreme high line. There's the bumps I was talking about. You saw that metallic purple splitter bouncing off the ground as the 35 gets in the outside wall. Going to concede the spot to the 43. This 97 car is not messing around. You might end up getting around this 24. Edwards v. Gordon, we've seen that on the racetrack a number of times. I don't know if he's going to be able to get it done on the high line on the front stretch as he tried that last time, but let's see. What is the 97 doing? He's wheeling it, that's what he's doing. What does he do here on Dakota Floyd? Look at the hand movement. He is driving this thing. As the top 4 have gapped Justin Ritchie by 1.2 seconds. Radford to the bottom. Floyd to the top. And they're both chasing down our leader, Pressey. Still very early in this run. You could go as much as 70 laps. Go probably as little as about 42 laps or so, I think would get you, split it in about thirds. Somewhere in there, 40, 42. So it really depends on how hard do you want to race? How much of a hole do you want to put yourself in on that second stop? If you pit twice, you will be a lap down or more for a large portion of this race. Versus one stopping it, it's a much safer strategy, but it could be slower on the backside. As only 20 laps in, we are already 4/10 off the pace we were running at the very start of this race. All these drivers fast laps. There's Stad Miller in a Casey Kane, Jeremy Mayfield, Evernham throwback. Ripping the high line. That's down 2 spots from his 6th starting position. Down 1 now as he's going to get around the 56 of Benjamin Richards. Driver who's having a surprisingly off day, Sean Langton, started 9th, running 9th. Remember, he won the first 2 races of the season, including our first short track of the year in New Smyrna. Currently in the 9th spot and did not look awe-inspiring in practice. Well off the standards of the 7. John Sunnew, another one, having kind of an interesting start to this race. We've seen him in VRX. We know what he's about, tire saving and running the bottom. That is the way of the 86. So far, running in the 10th spot, gained 3 spots from his starting position. Let's see how far forward he will go. Still early in this race. Garrett Helmlinger has also gained a spot up to 11th Casey Ellis trying to follow that 88. He's up 2 positions. Collins is down a couple to 13th. Wade Palmer in the 14th spot. He is up 4 positions from where he started. Fiedler, he is in 15th, up 2. Brenton McKee rebounding after I think he popped the wall a little bit. Car looks okay, just lost the track position. Teresa Spiker is down 1 position in 17th, and Robert Stanners, after a great qualifying effort, he has caught the outside wall pretty significantly. He is 18th. Last car on the lead lap. Cressy is starting to pull away a little bit from your top 4. Floyd, Radford, and Holland right behind him, and I think Richard Holland has been woken up. As here comes the 31 to the inside of the 97. Off of turn number 4. On this long front stretch. You gain on the bottom, gain on entry. On the top side, you gain on the exit. Very difficult to complete a pass at this racetrack. You can hang side by side for so many laps. It's so frustrating as a driver to know I'm faster than the guy on the outside, but he's running that defensive line, keeping me at bay. That's what Holland's feeling right now. You got to be patient. Right here is he's going to get a better run, positive momentum. Dives down into turn number 3. He will not clear. He might be able to slide up right now. He could have, but not quite enough. Let's see if he can do it one more time as the 97 gets all the way back around the 31. And that's how frustrating it is. Holland was 2 feet from finishing that pass. And now he's 2 car lengths behind as Justin Ritchie appears out of nowhere. The 55 running in 5th. Well, all the way back to about 1.3 seconds behind Holland is back up into this pack as Radford is falling off the pace. I think the pass will be completed now by the 31 is can't imagine sliding the tires that early was beneficial for the 97. The good news for him, 15 more laps will probably be when you could pit at the earliest. But the first 28 laps have belonged to Nicholas Pressey. He's led every single one of them from the pole. Trying to do what he could not last week. He mentioned a speeding penalty. On the first stop, he was one of the first drivers to hit the pit lane. Sped on exit. Had to come back down pit road. Ended up spinning coming to pit road. Brought out the caution and trapped himself a lap down. Frustrating end to what was a promising night. See if he can do better here tonight and not have that pit road mistake that he mentioned at the top of the show. But Nicholas Pressey's led a lot of laps in VSRL races. Won a few of them as well. Hot shoe if I have ever seen one. Just like the driver in second, Dakota Floyd. He has won a number of races in this series, led a lot of laps. So has Richard Holland, last week's winner. Typically dominates events. Hard to beat, hard to pass, hard to get away from. As he is all over the back bumper of the 24. Let's just ride on board here for a few laps and see the mastery that is Richard Holland stalking his prey. See, trying different lines. Bottom of 1 and 2. Middle high in 3 and 4. Didn't gain much that time around. But the 24 knows he's there. Good center of the corner, but the exit not quite as good as Dakota Floyd. This is the chess match. So much fun to watch. 2 of the best in the series going at it here for second. Just behind them, Justin Ritchie has got around the falling 97. Ritchie back up to 4th, 1 spot behind where he started. And there is Radford. who's sliding back on the older tires, having a good run. So far, up still 3 spots from where he started. Greg Pillar doing well. Started in the 5th spot, running in 6th. Sean Langton slowly picking him off. He's up to 7th. Thad Miller up to 8th. Richards is 9th, slowly falling back through the field. Helmlinger is up to 10th. Sanu's fallen back 1 spot to 11th. Casey Ellis is 12th. Fiedler is in 13th. David Collins back to 14th. Teresa Spiker has gained a couple to the 15th position. Few drivers have left the race. Wade Palmer had a contact with the outside wall. So did Brent McKee. Those 2 drivers on the pit lane. Robert Sanders had a pit road visit, I guess you would say. Finds himself in 16th, 2 laps down. The only driver running multiple laps down. 16 cars left in this race as we close in on what could be the first round of pit stops here in about 5 laps. Be very curious to see if anybody decides that is the right move. I would look at this driver right here, Matthew Radford, to be the one that calls the shot on strategy. I think the tire wear is not as good as the rest of these cars out here, but he clearly has the speed to drive up through the field. We saw it on the opening run. But you can never count out your leader, Nicholas Pressey, to surprise us on strategy. Very intelligent driver behind the wheel. Let's see what he does. Oh, he's bringing it down right there, and I was going to say, oh my goodness. Look at me speaking it into existence, but not the case. As the battle for second rages on. Floyd, Holland, 24-31. Trying to see who is going to be the first driver to have a shot at Nicholas Pressey, who's 1 second up the road. They're all matching lap times. Top 3. Working lap 40. This is going to be a quick one tonight, folks. Laps go by here at about 24 seconds. Around this 0.85 mile speedway. One of the better short tracks in North America, if you want to call it that. It's less than a mile, but it does race a lot like a speedway. Fun racetrack, absolutely. If you've never seen a race here in person, I highly suggest that you visit. Great racetrack. Battle here for the 6th spot. Langton, your points leader, trying to take over the spot from Greg Pillar. 7 seems to have saved the tires better than most. Maybe going for the long haul here. You can see the 95 in front of him, 97 in front of him. On board here with Sean Langton. Not quite clear to the 32. I think we're 3 wide. Just about 3 wide. Out of turn 4, Langton is going to clear the 32. Oh, I thought we were going to go 3 wide into turn 1, and that is a dangerous maneuver. You have the falling Radford on the high line, the surging Langton on the bottom line, and Pillar just trying to hold serve. Move Langton up to the top 5. Nobody has hit pit road yet, scheduled anyway. A few drivers are on pit lane right now, but they don't really want to be. Brent McKee returning back to the race, 10 laps down in 17th. Best battle on the track is still second. Holland and Floyd, crossover. Slide job? Not this time. A lot of entry speed for the 24. And off the corner, he's going to clear easily. Using that high line to his advantage. We've seen it a few times. We saw it with Radford when he was holding off the 31. It is hard to pass when the car you're passing is running the top. Very difficult. As Radford falls back to 8th again. He's in the clutches of Thad Miller and Garrett Helmlinger. He's spinning. Slide for the 97. Can he save it? Yes, he can. He gets caught up with Johnson, who caution is out. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness gracious. Just talking about the driver. Let's go see. Was that contact? What caused the 97 to go around? I believe there was contact. Let's go back a little further and see. So this is off of 40. Doesn't quite catch the wall, but just not a good exit. See Thad Miller creeping up very quickly, and I'm not sure what happened, but the 97 looks like he just slowed down well before the 13 expected him to. 13 clipped him. How bad is the damage on the 86? Minor. Luckily for him, minor damage to the right front, but that's going to bring out your first caution of the day, folks. Everybody and their dog is on pit road. A great camera shot that is through the back of the pit box. This is a curved pit road. Difficult to get to the pit box. Pressy hit it okay. So did the rest of the top three. Who will win the race off pit road? Nobody's out of the box quite yet. Holland's the first away. Pressy off of pit road. Not many spots changing hands here. Elminger gained a few. Thad Miller lost a couple spots. So right around lap 50, you can make it to the end on fuel from here. You're close anyway. You could probably do it with another caution, definitely with some fuel saving to make it to the end. But do you want to pit again for tires? That's the question that all these drivers are asking, is what do we do? We're going to take a quick step aside. Been watching Vsrl ARCA Series here on VSpeed. Be back right after this.
And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
The Milo gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes Slack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it at Auto Club.
Back here above the Iowa Speedway, the blimp still have one lap at least under pacing before we get back going. Not quite enough time to interview anyone, but we'll catch them on the next one. Quick through your field would be apt right about now. Nicholas Pressy is your leader. He's led every lap so far. Dakota Floyd is second. Richard Holland in third. Richie is fourth. Sean Langton in the 5th position. 6th spot, Greg Pillar. Benjamin Richards runs in 7th. Garrett Helmlinger in the 88 is 8th. Casey Ellis is 9th. And Thad Miller has fallen back to the 10th position. Teresa Spiker up to 11th, having a solid run in the 70. David Collins is in 12th. Matthew Radford fell back 13th. As Edward Fiedler, he is in 14th. John Sanu with the damage back to 15th. Last car on the lead lap. Robert Stanners is down 1 lap in 16th. Brent McKee down 7 laps. He is in the 17th position. Wade Palmer out of the race with damage. Going back green this time. Field rolls into 3 and 4. Pressy on the bottom. Floyd on the top. crawl into the restart zone. Great launch for the driver of the 94 as Floyd misses another shift. Will Holland be able to get to the inside and clear this time? It's going to be close. Off of 2. Still side by side. Drag race. 24th positive momentum. Holland might have to concede this one as Richie's right on the back bumper of the 24. And look at Langton. That's a guy who can close a race. As the top 4 slowly pull away. Cressy continues to lead. Closing in on leading half the laps so far. It's almost clinched most laps led. We're not even halfway through the race yet. That's insane. Double wide battle. A little further. Oh, we got a spin. That's Thad Miller. Thad Miller is in the grass. Still sliding. Caution is not out. Still green. We stay green. What a run that was through the grass. Ellis. Benjamin Richards. Hiller. Oh, Richards sideways. Ellis sideways. Oh, that was just about a 4-car pileup. Radford included in this battle as well. A lot of drivers struggling with the bumps here. Oh, 3 wide and bouncing off each other is the 97. Helmlinger wisely backs out, says it's not worth it. Still 70 to go. No need to ruffle feathers quite yet. Hiller with a dive to the inside of Langton. Remember, these two drivers were fighting right at the end of that run. Slide off the corner for both of them. The momentum to the 7. Great battles throughout the field. Casey Ellis still monitoring the 97 and the 56. He lifts in the middle of the straightaway to not go 3 wide. Where's he gonna go? Top 4 single file out. 56. Benjamin Richards, not a great turn 2. Gonna give the spot up to Casey Ellis in the 35. That was the battle for the 8th position. Spiker might have caught a little bit of the outside wall. She rides behind Collins. In front of Collins, behind Helmlinger, apologies. There's a look at the 707. Sanu with the damage. It must have impacted the car significantly. He is well off the pace. 8 seconds behind the leader, 4.5 behind David Collins. Thad Miller, similar story. He probably has damage. He definitely lost track position from the slide through the grass. He is 14th, last car on the lead lap. Stanners, Fiedler, and McKee laps down in this race to this point. Spiker going forward. The 70 is fighting Garrett Helmlinger. This is for the spot in the 9th position. Is up at the front. This trio for second will not separate. They are glued together. Look at 3 completely different lines. All chasing Cressy, who has not gotten out to extraordinary leads by any stretch. He is there for the taking, but he's not making any mistakes. He's not going to make it easy. This is the closest anyone's been to him all day. It's under 2/10. First to second. And off the back bumper, this is what it looks like. See the interval, corner of your screen. See Floyd gets him off the corner and into turn number 3, but I think Pressy's going to beat him. Out of turn number 4. Gap is now 0.3 of a second, and that's the game of inches you play here in Iowa and all the short tracks. Across stock car racing, you usually can't get him in 1 lap. You got to pass him in 15 laps, all added together. Speaking of passing, Sean Langton falling backwards. Casey Ellis working to the outside. This driver was just in 5th. He now matches his car number in the 7th position. Rebounding is Matthew Radford. Remember, this driver fell all the way back to 13th on the initial restart, or on this past restart. Only 16 laps later, he finds himself in the 6th position. Curious to see if the tires hold up any better than the first time around. He's charged up to 2nd or 3rd and fell all the way back to the 10th position. Ellis is wearing out the back bumper of the 7 as Langton closes the door again. Ellis might have a nightmare about RVs.com after this one's over. As again, Langton going to close the door. I think Stanners, we saw him miss pit road. On pit road now. As Holland and Floyd are side by side, not anymore. They were in the center, not on the exit. Halfway here at Iowa. .67 laps in. Battle for second continues. Holland has yet to get that position. He's been trying for the last 40 laps. Can he do it? And look at Richie sticking right there. 1.2 seconds ahead of 5th spot, Greg Pillar. 31 still cannot pass the 24 running that defensive line. Cressy continues to lead. Dakota Floyd in 2nd, where he started. Holland is up 4 spots from where he started from his 7th position. He is now 3rd. Richie down 1 to 4th. Started in the 3rd spot. Greg Pillar right where he started in 5th. Matthew Radford up 2 from 8th. Sean Langton is in 7th, matching the car number still. Casey Ellis in the 8th spot. Helmlinger and Spiker going at it. Looks like Helmlinger's going to get the spot here. Oh, oh, that was close. Door got slammed in Teresa Spiker's face. That's a battle for 9th. Spiker is in 10th. Collins running 11th, having a decent run. Benjamin Richards has fallen off a little bit. He is in 12th. Handling issues on the 56, no doubt. John Sanu well off the pace here in 13th. Thad Miller is 14th. Last car on the lead lap. Hoping for a caution to get back into this thing. Fiedler 15th, McKee 16th, and Stanners is on the pit lane. He is 17th. Wade Palmer out of the event. He will finish 18th tonight. Closing in on 50 to go. 5-0. Can they make it? That is the big question. We are not sure if any of these drivers can make it to the end on fuel. By my calculation, they're about 3 laps short. So, are you saving fuel? Do you make the pit stop like this driver did? The 66 might be in the catbird seat. He's 2 laps down currently, just based on pitting. But he has pit a number of laps ago, 8 laps ago to be exact. Meaning he should be able, or he should be about +4 to make it to the end on fuel. 4 laps to the good. As I imagine the rest of your top 14 are 4 laps to the bad. 4 laps shy on fuel, but it's going to be interesting to see if we can make it. That was an oddly timed caution, the spin between Thad Miller and Radford. Saw this 97 just about go all the way around. He did have contact with John Sanu. Sanu got the worst end of that. Sanu currently is in the 13th position. Cressy having a Sean Langton-esque race out here. Remember back a few weeks ago, he led, Sean Langton did, every single lap in New Smyrna. Cressy has led every lap so far tonight in Iowa. And Floyd is still holding off Holland. This has got to be so frustrating if you're the 31, knowing that you're faster, but you can't figure out a way around that 24. Maybe you can use the 66 as a pick. Maybe. But you got to get there first. See the leader's sliding a little bit. Big loose off the corner. Here's Nicholas Pressey. Battle for the lead is closing in as Richie falls back just a little bit, about half a second. 8/10 or so behind Holland. See how much 8-lap fresher tires are worth right here. 66 has them. 94 wishes he had them. Make the pass a lot easier. Side by side into 3. Pressey's going to dive it deep into turn number 3. Going to easily clear off of turn 4. And now it's Floyd and Holland's turn to get around the 66. Who I have had many issues passing. He's not an easy pass by any stretch. We're going to see it here. Goes to the top side. Way out of the way goes Fiedler. He is going to concede the position to the top 3. Classy move there. Holland still on the back bumper of the 24. We are 33 laps into this run. If you wanted, you could probably go another 4 laps, 5 laps, split it in half. Have the fresh tires for longer, but it's going to put you 2 laps down. And that's if you're a front runner. If you're anyone behind, well, I guess this entire top group is only a few seconds back. Helmlinger's 5 seconds behind. The gap grows behind him. The top 9 could probably make that strategy work to stop it. You might be able to pull out a win here as we are 7/10 off the pace per lap, and these laps go by very quickly here in Iowa. Closing in on 40 laps to go. Best battle on the racetrack. Ellis, Helmlinger. This is for 8th. They're both running that high line. Both cars slipping and sliding. Dive into turn number 1. I'm curious to see the entry to 3, if we can see these cars yaw out. Not in this shot. Let's see off of turn 4. Look at all these cars slide off the corner. Such a great look at just how difficult that turn 4 exit is. How much you have to have that car yawed out, or they call that slip angle in the biz. How much slip angle you have to make these things go quickly. Interesting stuff for sure. Johnson New has caught Teresa Spiker. This is for the 11th position. Is he able to make the pass? Can he get to the door this time? Probably going to require a deep drive into turn number 1. He's clear in the center as Spiker's on that extreme high line with the bumps. He will slide up. He will get the spot over the 70. Good pass there. Johnson New up to the 11th position. Holland still biding his time. You might be waiting for the pit stop sequence to try and flip the script on Dakota Floyd. He was pulled away by about 0.3 of a second. If you're in the top 3, I think your only play is to just follow what the leaders do. I wouldn't try a two-stopper if I was any of these drivers, simply because you don't want to take that risk. You have a really solid chance at winning the race. I think the first driver who might want to take that risk is Justin Ritchie. Has not had the speed tonight to run consistently with that top three. He's fallen back on the backside of all these runs. The other driver is Greg Pillar. Sean Langton might be able to make use of that strategy as well. Those three are in the best position, but they have to do it here within the next 3 or so laps. Helmlinger gets put in the outside wall by Radford. Here comes Ellis, and we're going to go 3 wide into turn 1. Not quite enough runway for the 35 to get there. 3 wide nonetheless. Look at this. The key comes off pit road. Helmlinger going to retain the spot, but that was a solid battle. Langton side by side with Pillar. Gonna try and get right on the quarter panel. Make him nervous. Better hope that 32 is nimble. Gonna have to be. Stay on your toes out here in Iowa. 7's alongside. 2 potential picks up ahead. Miller's gonna run the high line. 32 wants the high line. That is how you use a pick to perfection. Could learn a thing or two from this Sean Langton guy as he runs in the 5th position. Crafty veteran he is. But out front, Nicholas Pressey cannot understate. He has led 92 of 92 so far tonight in that 94 from the pole. Was also, I believe, fastest in practice. It's been a phenomenal night so far. Now the goal, make it to the end. Can you do it on fuel? I don't know. I don't think he can. But I've been wrong before. As we're closing in on a second off the pace. Dakota Floyd still with a mirror full of Richard Holland. Battle for second has been going on since about lap 20. Has not gone away. Richard Holland up 4 spots. Continues to reside in the 3rd position. Another win would tie him in points, at least in playoff points, with Sean Langton. But currently he sits in the 2nd spot in the points standings. Justin Ritchie having a solid night, hanging out in 4th. No pressure front or back, just on an island. Sean Langton, current points leader with 2 wins. Not the day he was looking for, a bit of an off night here at Iowa, but solid nonetheless. Top 5 wins championships. Greg Pillar in 6th, just was passed by the 7. Again, having a solid night out here. Top 10s are definitely good to have as well. Garrett Helmlinger continues to yo-yo around the top 10. He is back in 7th. Ran as low as, I believe, 13th at one point in time after starting in 12th. Firmly in the top 10 right now is Casey Ellis. Is in 8th, right behind him. Matthew Radford falling back to 9th. After running as high as 3rd in this race. Under pressure from Benjamin Richards, who's got the forward momentum into turn 1. Can Richards complete the pass? He's going to get the nose. Can he get the rest? Oh, door contact. Door banging off of turn 2. Not going to make either of those drivers very happy, I wouldn't think. Damage on the 56 now. As look at John Sanu. Trying to go 3 wide. Make a show out of this. Radford's going to get away. And Richards tried to pass and ended up losing a spot in the process. It moves Sanu up to the top 10. Is Radford with an extremely low exit right there. 25 laps to go. Sanu's car is coming alive. Going to be too little too late to win the race. But he is right there in 9th position. See if you can go get a better spot in the top 10. These three drivers under a blanket. Teresa Spiker back in the 12th spot in her 70 machine. David Collins is 13th. Thad Miller, first car, 1 down. The 13 is in 14th. Fiedler, 3 down in 15th. McKee, 9 down in 16th. Stanners, 37 down in 17th, still on pit road. The battle for 10th rages on. Radford, so he's going to give the spot up to the 56. As we may... Oh, I thought we had a pass for second. Just about as they lap by Collins. Collinator. Looks like he caught the wall with the right front a little bit. Fender pushed in. Slow off of turn 4 is the 707. That leaves Spiker as the last car on the lead lap. She is right in front of your leader. Floyd has done a phenomenal job of holding off Holland, who I think has probably the fastest car here, but he has yet to have a chance to chase down your leader. Nicholas Pressey now over 100 laps led. 22 to go to close it out. Sanu gets by Helmlinger, at least in the process of it. Helmlinger, from when we talked about him last, was 7th. Now he's 9th. And the 56 is on the way. Sanu up to 8th. Casey Ellis, his next target. Fastest car on the racetrack is, in fact, this John Sanu 86 machine. About a 10th faster than the rest of the field. Save the tires, run on the bottom. He's got 20 laps to pay it off. Matthew Radford on the pit lane. This might be the first of the drivers who realize they can't make it on fuel. I don't see much damage on the 97. 3 wide under Spiker. This might be the chance Holland needs. Not able. Spiker's up on the outside wall, not able to use the 70 as a pick to get around the 24. Not this time. The battle rages on. This will be an interesting interview after the race, I'm sure. I think Holland has thrown everything but the kitchen sink at Dakota Floyd, trying to get around him, and just cannot seem to do it. Langton has caught Ritchie. This will be Langton's first time in the top 4 if he's able to get there. And that is a driver, if a caution comes out, that none of the top 3 want to see. One's running the very bottom, one's running the very top. Ritchie gets the run off the corner. Holland, I think, finally got around him. Still not quite clear. Great position, though. Into 3, the top side, so good here. But Holland's going to squirt the throttle, and he will clear for the first time tonight. Holland gets around Dakota Floyd for the 2nd position. Still fighting. Back for 4th. Langton trying to do the same thing to Ritchie that Holland just did to Floyd. Contact off of turn 2. Here comes Radford with those new tires. Look at the 97 go. 3 wide through the middle. That is an aggressive move. That's going to get talked about later, I am sure. Under 10, under 20 laps to go. How about 15 left. David Collins in front of them, the Collinator. He's going to block both lanes somehow. He blocked Ritchie and Langton at the same time. Fight comes back. Langton brings it to the bottom. Ritchie running the high line. Trying to use the momentum. On the top is Ritchie. It's working for him. Langton can get there, but can't get by. Doesn't have many laps to make it happen. As I still don't know if we can make it to the end. It's going to be close. I've heard 70. I've heard 75. This run's going to have to be 78 if you're going to make it. But look how quickly Richard Holland dispatched Dakota Floyd. Past him 2 laps ago, the gap is now 1.4 seconds and growing very quickly. Holland is getting there. See the gap down to 0.7 of a second, and it's dropping precipitously. This 31 is on rails in the last 10 laps. This is the battle to watch. It's under half a second. It's under half a second, everyone. They're in the same frame again. Pressey has led every lap so far. But the most important one has yet to be run. That's the last one. 10 to go. Here from Iowa, and we are going to have a thriller on our hands. It took the 31 90-plus laps to pass Dakota Floyd. How many will it take if he's able to pass the 94, the fastest car all day, led every single lap, had no challengers? What can Pressey do? John Langton has gotten around Justin Ritchie. The gap is now 0.2, 4th to 5th. Floyd runs in the 3rd spot. Door to door. The 94 gets a good run off at turn number 4. 31 following the tire tracks and turn it down to that yellow line. Get a great run through the center. That's where the pass happened on Floyd, remember. Closes into half a car length. Pressey wants the top, wants the momentum. He's going to get it here. There it is. Fights back. Even at the line. Holland might have led that lap. He did not lead that lap. That's as close as it's going to get without leading one here. Still, door to door, through turns 3 and 4. Here comes the 97, Radford, on the fresh tires. Will he factor into this battle? 6 to go. 6 more laps for Pressey to be perfect. He's got a very fast car behind him. He's got a faster car behind him. Look at the 97 roll the center. Fresh tires. 50 lap pressure tires, to be exact. He's going to clear Holland easily. Can he get by the leader? As right now, 5 laps to go. He is blocking for your leader. That's going to be a topic of conversation later in the show. Put the leader in the fence, why don't you? Nicholas Pressey under attack from a lap car. I'm sure that got the blood pumping just a little bit. As it's half a second. Pressey to Holland. Now it's under 0.4. The gap yo-yoing depending on where they are on the racetrack, but Holland is falling back very quickly. Are the tires used up on the 31? It took him so long to get around Dakota Floyd as he pushed it too far. 2 laps to go for Nicholas Pressey. He's led 122 laps today. Make it 123. 2 more to go. Ritchie has fallen back to the 6th spot. Greg Pillar gets around him. That will likely be a top 5 for the 32 for the first time this season. As Nicholas Pressey is rolling out of turn number 4 to take the white flag. It's 3/4 of a second back to Richard Holland. And all he wanted was a rebound from last week's pit penalty. And boy, did he get one. He disappears for a split second on the backstretch. But Nicholas Pressey, through turns 3 and 4, is going to lead wire to wire here at Iowa. I think he ran out of gas at the finish line. I think he did. Remember, we were close on fuel, folks. But Nicholas Pressey, he did it. He was able to conquer the pit road, conquer this field, and more importantly, conquer this Iowa Speedway to win round number 4, Vsrl ARCA Series. Congratulations goes out to the driver of the 94 for a phenomenal drive today. As we had a photo finish for 3rd spot, we're going to go back and have a look at. We will chat with your top 3 in just a few minutes. Watch the 94 burn it down for just a little while, as he earned it today, earned every second of it. Congratulations to Nicholas Pressey for winning here. Let me go back and see if I can find the finish here. So this is the white flag lap. See Sean Langton behind Dakota Floyd, and I think he ran out of gas right there. No more fuel in the 24, and here comes the 7. See, the 31's also out of fuel. Not quite enough for Dakota Floyd to get there. That's how close they were on fuel. But you finished. They've finished. We've all finished watching Vsrl ARCA Series at Iowa. We'll be back in a few minutes for your results and interviews with your top 3. See you back in just a few.
And here comes Milo. Big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
The wheel gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes Zwack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
Back here at Iowa Speedway for the post show. Your results from Vsrl ARCA Series here at Iowa. Nicholas Pressey, wire to wire. 125 laps led and not a single gallon of fuel to spare in that tank. Ran out of fuel crossing the finish line. Was barely able to do a burnout. That's how close it was after leading every single lap. Richard Holland in second. Chased him down. but I think realized he couldn't make it on fuel, had to back it up, and just barely made it. Sean Langton snookered Dakota Floyd by 1,000th of a second at the start-finish line. That's how close it was, with Floyd running out of fuel and Langton not running out of fuel. Hiller's going to finish in 5th, Sanu in 6th, Richie falls back to 7th. Benjamin Richards, Garrett Helmlinger, and Casey Ellis round out your top 10. The 11th spot was Teresa Spiker, 1 lap down in 11th. Thad Miller finishes in 12th. David Collins 13th. Radford, who had a fast car, but the strategy did not work for him. He finishes 14th. Fiedler will finish in the 15th position. McKee 16th. Stanners had troubles tonight. He finished in 17th. And Wade Palmer, disconnected early, finishes in the 18th position. Let's look at your grid here tonight. Now it's time to chat with your top 3. Start off with 3rd place, Sean Langton. Let's get him up here in the V-Speed booth. Sean Langton, Morgan Cook up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Morgan.
All right. Well, I don't know if you thought a top 3 was going to be in the cards for you tonight after practice and qualifying. Not your best efforts. I think we could all say you're probably not quite up to your standards. The lofty standards you set in this 7 machine, winning 2 of the first 3 races. But you made it work in the 3rd spot. What did you figure out during the race to work your way through the field?
Yeah, Iowa's not my favorite track. The conditions actually started to suit me though, and I changed my steering ratio in practice to a higher one, and it helped save my right front. And I was able to get to the bottom of the track and then kind of slide the rears off the corner, and it wasn't really hurting my rears, and it was keeping it off the right front. So I was getting a lot less right front heat and right front wear compared to some other people. And a lot of guys didn't fill up their tank all the way on that first stop, and I did, and they were having to save, and I was just flat out that whole run. I wasn't really worried about saving tires. I was just going for it.
Yeah, I knew fuel was going to be a concern. I was told pre-race, I might have even been by you, that the number was about 70 to 75. You guys ran 77 on that last run, so it was going to be a bit of a chess match if you were going to make it or not. Clearly, the 7 did. Benefited from the 24 not quite having enough. A thimble more of fuel would have probably got that 24 across the finish line ahead of you, Sean. But regardless, podium at a track that you don't love. What does this mean for your season and looking ahead?
Yeah, just want to keep plugging away, running the best I can. I just wanted to really get a top 5 here today and just have fun and run. But as soon as that second stint went off and I heard them kind of questioning their fuel, and I saw I was way to the good. I was not going to save any tires, and I was just trying to get to the bottom and pass them on the bottom, because a lot of guys were making the middle and top work. It was hard to pass, but I did a few slide jobs, and I ran some people a little hard and maybe bumped some doors here and there, but kind of a short track, so I guess it's okay, right?
That is definitely short track racing, right? Rubbing is racing. I think that's what they say. But this 7 machine, typically, and I think you would agree with this as well. Typically, you're a great short run driver, able to go out and drive the wheels off the thing, get a big lead, and then the back end of the run starts to kind of get you, right. The right front tire gets too heated up, or whatever the case may be. What have you found recently? Because that has not been the case in the last couple of weeks.
I think it's really just I try and take something from each race, and before I just kind of wanted to go out and run as fast as I can, just treat it like that. But now I understand that it's not all about that 1 lap speed, and starting to understand more of the dynamics of the car on ovals, and I just try and take away something from each race and take it to the next one. And I've definitely been concentrating more on conserving in the first few laps of a run, and let the leaders go out and build up heat, and I just kind of pace my time and run a few tenths off their time.
That's how the good ones do it, Sean, and you've clearly caught on, and you're getting even better as your iRacing career grows. But who do you want to shout out for this 3rd place finish here tonight?
Just thanks to the V-Speed crew, Orange Speed, my teammates, Dakota for running out of fuel. I appreciate that.
We'll talk to him about that probably.
Say hi to my parents. Thanks for watching, and thank you, Morgan, for broadcasting.
You bet. Was a fun one out here in Iowa tonight. That is third place, Sean Langton. All right, driver finished in front of him. Let's talk with Richard Holland. Richard, it's Morgan up in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Not too far off from last week, although one spot down the leaderboard from that dominating Kansas win. You didn't quite have enough at the end for Nicholas Pressey. Was fuel a factor?
Yeah, I was short on fuel. I was really pressing to get around Dakota. He ran a great race, don't get me wrong. He didn't make any mistakes, but I felt like he held me up for about 124 laps tonight.
I agree with that.
Now, Dakota ran a great race, but I felt like I was just a little faster than him, most of the run there, and I pushed a little bit more than I wanted to, trying to get by him, and I couldn't. And then once I did clear him, I had a little bit of clean air, and I kind of made a run at Nick, and so I wasn't saving. I don't know. I didn't know what would happen there, and then I just had to save enough to just make it to the end.
And clearly that worked. Sorry, I can't find my words here. That did work because you finished in second. Dakota obviously fell back that spot. You were talking to him just before I pulled you up in here, but I would agree. About 90 laps, starting at about lap 20, you two went at it, and it wasn't until about lap 110 you were able to get around that 24. How frustrating is it to ride behind somebody that you know you're faster than, and you throw everything at them, but you still cannot get that pass done?
Yeah, it's pretty frustrating. I think from a racer's standpoint, I think you have to try to not allow yourself to get too frustrated in the moment because, you can easily overdrive it, burn the tires off of it, wreck each other, take yourself out, whatever. So I just tried to stay focused and not get too frustrated with the situation. And like I say, Dakota was running a great race. He did an awesome job. He didn't make any mistakes. It's not like he was way off the pace either, and just holding me up. He did awesome, and he did exactly what he had to do. And it's not like I would expect him to let me go. So, but yeah, it can definitely be frustrating for to be in that position for sure.
And it says a lot about you that I don't think you two made contact once that entire race. Race side by side, door to door, nose to tail, whatever you want to call it. Never made contact as far as I saw on the broadcast. So congratulations to the both of you, and well done for having such a great race. And you really carried this broadcast, I would say, as a lot of strung out racing here in Iowa tonight. But what's next for Richard Holland, and who do you want to shout out for the second place finish?
Well, I would like to thank you and V-Speed for doing what you do here. I know a lot of people, myself included for sure, love to go back and watch these races, and we wouldn't be able to do that without you guys broadcasting and taking your time to come here and do this. So, we appreciate that and everything you guys do. It's a broadcast looks amazing. V-Speed does a hell of a job. So, congrats to you guys and thanks a lot. Trying to get my buddy B-Rad there. I think Brad Cooper.
I do.
To put a V-Speed paint on this thing, so I might have one for next week. But
very good.
But yeah, I just want to thank Garrett for putting this thing on and everything that he does. I've been involved in so many leagues, and there's so much stuff that goes on behind the scenes just to run a league, and just from the little things like updating the points and. You have to be accountable to run these leagues, so you got to be there. You got to show up, and that says a lot for people that do it for us for a place to race. You know what I mean? So it's a thankless job, and just want to thank him for setting this up for us and giving us a place to race, and really all the drivers, man. It's been some really really awesome racing, so it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, what if we had 2 laps or 2 cautions in the last 2 races, something like that? It's been a great show of green flag racing here in VSRL, and you have been a great part of it, so thank you, Richard, and congratulations on the second place finish.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot.
You bet. That is second place finisher, Richard Holland. Now to the one we've all been waiting for. Nicholas Pressey, wire to wire. Nicholas, Morgan up in the booth, you got a copy?
Yes, I have a copy, Morgan. How are you doing?
I am doing quite well. So I don't know if you expected when we chatted a mere hour and so ago to go out here and lead every single lap run out of fuel crossing the finish line and win the race, did you?
Admittedly, I wasn't too confident entering this race. It's not historically a very good track for me, but it's always but this race was a delightful surprise. Uh, with the being able to actually manage tires for once. Uh, I frankly wasn't confident I was even gonna still have the lead around lap 20, let alone going wire to wire on the whole thing. So, it really is it's a pleasant surprise, really.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think you fall in that same boat as Sean Langton in years past here, where you two typically had great short run speed, but always faltered on the long run, right? It was usually those tracks where the strategy kind of fell in your favor with the new tire sets, that you were able to get your wins in this series. It was never really dominating short and long run performance. What have you learned in the last couple years that has made it so that you can save tires on the long run and go out there and win these races wire to wire?
I'm a lot less angry.
That's good. That's good.
Um, the last couple of years I've been really frustrated with not being able to get the job done. I think, and I still have those moments where it is disheartening. Like last week, Kansas. I think I had a great shot to win last week too, but that didn't work out, and admittedly it was a bit devastating to get that penalty. Um, and then just end up having the strategy not work out from there. So when today I said, you know what, if I can get the space, I'll look for a specific lap time, try to hit it as many times as I could, and that was a surprisingly stable lap time to hit throughout the run. So when I was getting challenged by the 31 at the end there, uh, I knew I couldn't stay low because the high line was because he was just running me down the high line. And the only thing I could do was just beat him up there. Uh, and admittedly, I did have to get a bit unfriendly with the 97 in order to secure the win, and to which I do apologize. Uh, but this really is delightful. Never done a wire to wire before.
Yeah, that an impressive run. And somehow the second wire to wire race here on V Speed Vsrl of this season, that's unbelievable. In 4 races, half of them have gone wire to wire, both tracks under a mile in length. And Nicholas Pressey was able to get this one done here tonight. One last question. So this is more of a mindset question. You're the leader. You've led, at that point, I think 100 laps. You look in your mirror and you see the 31 coming. And the 31 gets as close as your door, where he just about let a lap on you. What are you thinking, and how hard is it to not make a mistake when you have had such a great day, to not let it slip through your fingers? What's that mindset like?
Oh, that pressure most definitely had me shook. You know, but I knew that Iowa was a defensively favorite track. So if you had the track position, if you had the air, uh, you could reliably defend for at least a while. And I think my mindset was, okay, no matter how this plays out, I think I'm happy with how this went. Right? This is definitely a good point today. Uh, of course, I really do want to win, right? Because after the last place finish last week, uh, but when he was on my door, I will admit I was fretting. I just decided, you know what? Keep it high, send it on the outside all the way around, and if it sticks, it sticks. And fortunately for me, it did hold.
It definitely did. Was able to bring it back to the win here. Who do you want to thank? Who do you want to shout out for the wire to wire victory here on V Speed?
I'd like to thank my teammates at MPM, even though they couldn't be here tonight. Wonderful bunch of guys. Very supportive of each other. Like to thank Drip Dry Cast and Collectibles for for helping put us through the year. It's been a wonderful time with them. Eminem and all of them, as the year closes out, starts to close out, and the team starts to look for new sponsorship or to renew and add sponsorship next year. Uh, I thank my friends who watch this stuff, and I think I'd like to thank you. Well, don't think I would like to thank you for putting on a great production, and I'd like to put on the thank the guys at V Speed here, Bill at V Speed for putting on a good league. These cars are fun. Uh, I really do think more people should come out here and do this stuff. It really is great.
I think we all echo that. But congratulations, Nicholas. It was a phenomenal drive today. 125 laps led from the pole, fastest in practice. I mean, you literally swept every session we had here today, even the warm up. So just a phenomenal drive. Congratulations, and we'll see you next week at Lime Rock.
All right, I'm gonna drive this back to the pits.
Sounds good. All right, that's your winner, Nicholas Pressey. And that is going to wrap up the show. Vsrl ARCA Series here on V Speed from the Iowa Speedway. Next week, Lime Rock, Connecticut. Going to be a fun race, the only road course of the season. See if Sean Langton can get the one that got away the last time we were there. Be a fun season here. Only 8 or so races left, 4 to get into the playoffs. It'll all be wrapped up by Thanksgiving or so. But for everyone here at V-Speed, Bradley Cooper, Adam Baker, Eddie Smith, appreciate all their help. I've been Morgan Cook, your host and producer tonight. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to the channel, like the video. Glad to have you here watching at home, and I hope to see you back for the next one. I'll be live again tomorrow for QSR Tuesday Night Thunder Truck Series. The night after that for the Racing Revolution Cup Series, presented by Chapman Environmental Services. Please join us for the rest of the broadcast here on V-Speed. Love having you guys around. And thank you for your time. Good night, and we'll see you next time.